चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Welcome dear devotees to our special Bhagavad-gita session in lieu of 4th of July. So we will get started with our usual process of reading, and I am going to put down the order in which you are appearing in this call. So first person to join today was Varshana Mataji. After that we had again Kiran Mataji came, and then Jyoti Mataji came, and then Aruni Mataji came. And that's it, right? So it's the easy one. Varshana, after that Kiran, after that Jyoti, after that Arni. And I will post this order in the chat also. But before we do that, let me first get going by sharing the screen, and you can all start reading from Bhagavad-gita chapter 8. Today we're going to do 8.6, but we'll first do the translations. Okay. All right. Starting with Varshana Mataji.
Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna. Attaining the Supreme. Text 1. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the Self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Hare Krishna.
Kiran. Okay, who's after Kiran? Jyoti?
Hare Krishna Ji. Who is the Lord of sacrifice, and how does he live in the body, O Madhusudana? And how can those engaged in devotional service know you are at the time of death? Hare Krishna Ji.
Arni?
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma, or fruitive activities.
Okay, back to Varshana Mataji.
O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and moon, is called Adhideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in heart of every embodied being, am called Adiyagya, the Lord of sacrifice. Hare Krishna.
Adhiyagya. Adhi.
Adiyagya.
So adhi comes from, like the word, adhikshas. You must have heard adhikshas, one who control, right? So, or the Lord. So adhi means who's the Lord. Yagya means sacrifice. Adhi yagya means Lord of sacrifice. If you say adi means from the beginning, right? Original. Like that.
Adhiyagya.
Yeah. Adhi, soft A.
Hare Krishna. And
Right.
whosoever
And
retains
who are-
his life quits
Hold
his
on for
body,
1 second. Yeah, hold on for 1 second.
known at once, attained by nature. Of this, there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Just give me a second here. I want to see who all somebody else joined. Yeah. Yugal Mataji, are you able to read today?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mataji. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm on the WhatsApp group. I'm pasting the order in which you will read. You all will read, right?
Okay.
Okay. Who's coming next now?
Hare Krishna ji.
Okay,
Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kuntī, that state he will attain without fail.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
We will skip Yugal for this time. You're giving her the time she needs. And then we will go.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Please, all glories to Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Dandat pranams. So Mataji, we are reading one verse and you have come at the right time. You are up next to read.
Next to?
Now you can read.
Which one?
8.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engages in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Partha, is sure to reach me. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
One more minute. Mataji, may I start?
Yes, please.
One who meditates upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature. Hare Krishna.
One who at the time of death fixes his life, hair between the eyebrows, and by the strength of yoga, with an undeviating mind, engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Person who are learned in Vedas, who utter Omkara, and who are great sages in the renounced order, entered into Brahman. During such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation.
The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga.
Yugal Mataji, are you ready?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, go ahead.
Text 13.
Yeah.
After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the scared syllabus Om, the
Sacred.
Sacred syllabus Om, the supreme combination of letters. If one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets.
For
Now-
one who always... Is that me, Mataji?
Yeah, I was just saying now, Vindavali Mataji, you go.
For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Partha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service.
Yeah, he's the son of Pritha and not son
Pritha, I'm sorry.
Yeah, good. Okay.
After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kuntī, never takes birth again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ji. By human calculation, 8,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Hare Krishna Ji.
At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again.
Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Hare Krishna.
Yet there is another manifest nature,
Unmanifest nature.
unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. 20.
Hare Krishna Ji, that which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all-pervading and everything is situated within him. Hare Krishna Ji.
O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which, passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fairy god in the light at the auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun arrives in the north. Hare Krishna.
6 months when the sun travels in the north.
Okay.
Mataji,
Sun
Yugal-
travels in the north.
Yugal Mataji wants to read or no?
Yes, yes, Mataji. The mystic who passes away from this world during
Oh,
the
I took it.
smoke, the fourth night of the waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back.
Text 26. According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but one when passes in darkness, he returns. Hare Krishna.
Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Hare Krishna Ji. Jyoti.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah,
Let
sorry.
yeah, give her Jyoti Mataji. Give her a chance. Okay. Now the next person can take it.
Person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, any thoughts from what you all read or heard others read? Anything that stuck your mind, or are you ready to go to 8.6?
Yeah, I mean, I have actually one question.
Go
So they
ahead.
talk about the waxing, the dying during the waxing and the waning of the moon, but then it also says that those who pass during the light attain the supreme and are not born again, and those who pass in darkness come back. So how does, I mean, is that the time of day? So how does that tie in with the waxing and the waning?
Waxing and the waning of the moon is, you have Shukla Paksh and Krishna Paksh.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, so you could die at night during the waning or the waxing of the moon.
So which night, right? So first thing is, out of the 30 days, 15 are waxing moon, 15 are waning moon, right? Let's assume for simplicity. The first 15 days is moon is increasing, and then it becomes Purnimasi, and then after that it starts decreasing. So last 15 days are bad, right? You have to be when the moon is increasing. Out of those, the moon is increasing of the 15 days. Then on those 15 days, if we pass after the sun has set, not good. Like that. You see, they're eliminating.
Oh, so even during the waxing of the moon, you have subcategories.
Exactly. And then of the whole year, 6 months the sun is traveling in the northern hemisphere, 6 months in the southern hemisphere. So those 6 months are gone. So it's super complicated. And that's why, for us devotees, and this is for people who are trying to get mystic powers, right? But here we are focusing on devotional service, and that's Nati Siti Parthajanan Yogi Muhyati Kachana. He says, but the yogi is never bewildered, Muhyati, never bewildered by all this. Because what the devotee says, Swarg Apavarga Narkeshu Apitulyartha Dharshana. So whether I go to the moon planet, which is heavenly planet, or whether I go to a hellish planet, it doesn't matter. Right? So we are devotees. And so from the Bhagavad-gītā also, we will see and observe all those things. But we know that as devotees, what are we supposed to do? And if we are devotees and we have faith in Krishna, Krishna will take you back to Godhead. That is for sure. Right? All that we have to do is practice Krishna consciousness throughout a year so that we can focus on Krishna consciousness at the time of death so that it also becomes our habit. And I remember, I mean, I come from I was pretty spoiled by Vaishnava standards before the Bhagavad-gītā came into my life. And so when I came to the temple first, I was helping somebody in the kitchen, I think Nilachal Mataji, and she dropped something from her hand. And I would my habit was to say, ouch, or if it was something really bad, some really bad thing. So, and she said, oh, Krishna. I was like, oh my goodness, right? Yeah. So if we get these kind of habits, then even if a truck comes and hits our car, we won't start with expletives. We will say, oh, Krishna. So the time of death, that'll be, so it's very important that the consciousness that we cultivate throughout our life is definitely the consciousness that's going to be with you. And sometimes it's a subtle consciousness. And that's why in the last class, I was talking about how Vaishnav Prabhu says that you come with some pre-built desires, right? It's a package. You come with this body is a package. And so some of the desires are hidden, no. So the idea is to have complete purification. And at the same time to also have that thing in your head that I don't even know whether I'm totally purified or not. I don't even know what backlog was there. That is why we just surrender to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna and not be too much hell-bent on, I'm just going to go back to Godhead in this particular life, right? When you're saying, I want to go back to Godhead in this particular part of life, then we have to understand the motive behind that statement. Why am I trying to go back to Godhead at this time in life? Is because maybe I'm miserable and I'm going to go back, and then that's not the right reason. Because then the focus is still me. I am miserable, that's why I want to go there. On the other hand, the devotee just says, I want to serve Krishna. And says, I want to go to Golok Vrindavan and I want to serve Krishna. And actually, I had asked this question of His Holiness Keshav Bharati Goswami Maharaj, that people say that you know, I want to serve my Guru Maharaj. And you say that when the Guru Maharaj keeps on taking birth so that he can take the disciples back to Godhead, right? So he'll keep on coming back. So I said that if my spiritual master is going to keep on coming back, why should I not come back to serve him, right? Why should I go back to Godhead? So then Keshav Bharati Maharaj says, that's okay, that's a very noble thought. But you aim to go back to Godhead. And if you don't, then that's okay. You surrender to Krishna's will. Okay. So although we say that we are trying to go back to Godhead, it might appear contradictory, right? That, oh, at one end you're saying we should aim to go back to Godhead. On the other hand, you're saying Swarg apavarganar keshu apitulyartha darshana. So a person, it doesn't matter. So there is no harm in aiming for the best with the idea and the intention that I want to serve Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. And then if it doesn't happen, then I am a surrendered soul. I'm saying, okay, Krishna, teri marzi, o tata, teri marzi. Like it is your will and your wish that whatever is happening to me. But all that I want is association of devotees wherever you put me. And all that I want is that I should be serving you in whatever way, shape, form that you give me. So if you have that approach and that mood, then that's fine, right? It's okay. So don't be very, don't be much worried about what's going to happen. Idea is that we have to just, throughout our life, remember we were saying that we cannot determine, last time I was saying we cannot determine the quantity of our life. We don't know when we're going to die. But we can change the quality of our life. And the good quality of our life is a life that is dedicated to Krishna consciousness. Because we have tried, all of us have tried different lives as well, right? And now we find supreme joy. Right? I mean, we are so fond of listening to Krishna. I was just thinking about this, that we couldn't have the class on Friday because of 4th of July and because of my prior commitments. And so we decided, well, we can't miss that. Oh, let's just meet 2 days before or whenever, right? We decided that on Sunday. And I was just thinking that, like we are addicts. Without a dose of Bhagavad-gītā, the week doesn't go by far as we have to go. And then, of course, Sukumal Dati Mataji doesn't come on Sunday, so she might have.
I was so sad, like I missed the class, and I said, no, it's only 15 minutes. I can still join.
Yeah, Mataji, I don't know
the class going on, and she jumped and came, right? So this is love not for me, I know. I mean, of course, you love me.
It is.
Love for Krishna. The underlying love is for Krishna. Because I'm speaking Krishna, that's why you come here. I can talk to you about my work also.
I wouldn't understand head or tail.
You all will drop off so fast.
Mataji, I don't know that class is today, okay? I don't know what happened. And suddenly I saw something is going on. I just accidentally, I just signed in. Everybody was there and my right time I came, Mataji. So that is Krishna's mercy.
Do you think you accidentally signed?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Do you think it was an accident?
Accident or what?
There are no accidents. There are no accidents.
No, Krishna's mercy, what I'm saying is. Krishna's but when exactly on my time in after Varshana Mataji, just my time, I just signed in. So that was Krishna's mercy.
Krishna's, yes.
I'm happy to listening all these things. I am happy to participate.
Why does Krishna give you that mercy?
Because he is, I was thinking, but he just made me do that, that is really hands of Krishna.
Right. And this is Krishna consciousness, to see the hand of Krishna in everything that happens in your life.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you live your life thinking like that, why will you not think about Krishna at the time of death? That even when the death is coming, we'll say, okay, it's Krishna.
That's true.
Right?
So it might happen like this too, Mataji.
Exactly.
I'm so thankful, what happened today. And really, I'm feeling thanks to Krishna. And thanks to you.
Good. Love.
When I turned on and then just you are there. That's all.
Nice.
Thank you, Mataji. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, good. Yeah. So Yeah, so I was just telling you that about going back to Godhead. So we have to keep that. There are so many angles to it, right? About wanting to go back to Godhead and surrendering to Krishna in our minds that, okay, I want to go there, but that's fine. Wherever you take me, I will go, right? And that happens in our lives as well, right? Sometimes we want something, we tell our spouses or kids to go there, but then we are also surrendered that, okay, if they can take me to the temple, they can, that's fine. If they don't, then okay, I'll take it as Krishna's will. So we do that all the time, right? But the thing is that when things don't happen, at the back of our mind, we should just, analyze it and always have this understanding that not a blade of glass moves without the will of Krishna. So that's why it's very important to know that not a blade of grass moves without the will of Krishna. That whenever something is happening, good or bad, is happening because of the will of Krishna. Now, whether I should take some action against that bad thing, you should, depending on the situation that what is over there, right? Like Arjuna was put into a war by the will of Krishna, and then he took some action at the later end, but then he was surrendered to Krishna like that. So it's all about surrender, and we are difficult beings because we never surrendered to Krishna, right? In Golok Vrindavan, where we were earlier. Actually, I was also thinking that, like when you grow up in a place and then you get up, and ladies especially, they get married and move on to some other town and then maybe to some other country, right? And then you go back to your hometown and you go and see your old home. And then you're so happy and there's nostalgia and some happiness is there by seeing that old home. So I was just thinking that we talk about Golok Vrindavan, Katha Ganam, Natyam Gamanam, Happy Vanchi, Priya Sakhi. Brahma Samhita says that, right? Describing it so beautifully. And then to think that, what? I used to live there. I'm just going back after my sojourn.
That's a good thing.
To this
I
material
used to live there. I'm going there.
Yeah, it's a positive thing that you were there. We belong there. Like that.
Basically, we have come from there, and now we are eager to go back because that is our original home.
Right, and that's what Prabhupada uses, that I'm going back to Godhead, back. You were coming from there, and then you're going back. So we have to understand that you're going back to there.
See, that's what I think of my granddaughter, Mataji. Whatever Krishna did, he did for some reason, because that girl, half body, she's alive and she's going to med school now and she's happy. She wants to do herself everything. She don't want to be dependent on anybody. And the way she's doing cooking also, she's trying to do, going to the kitchen and helping. And that girl, amazing, she never feels that she has that difficulty in her body. Few seconds I felt, but I didn't express. But what God has given her, that life, why? Half life, half body is there. It's functioning very good. Her brain is functioning very good. And you don't believe the way she got the wheelchair, which she can herself press a button, that herself pulls up, and then she can stand and see the surgeries in the med school. Isn't that God's gift, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
That's really, she herself press the button and the chair itself lifts and she can stand. Otherwise, her body is not functioning. Half body is not functioning. Legs are not functioning. But she can stand like that and she can watch the surgeries and other things. She showed me and I said, what God has done like this. She had some calamity, but in that he showed her happiness.
Mataji, basically it seems that whatever happened, mishap took place at that time, it has become actually motivation for her to do rather better than others.
Better than that. Yes, she's doing like that.
She's doing that.
Thanks to Krishna for that too.
And the fact that she's born in a devotee family, she gets special mercy from Krishna.
Yeah. First, at the beginning, I felt a little uncomfortable. But now her father, mother, everybody got adjusted and she's happy. She's happy. She goes here and there, everything, goes to school, does her work, everything's fine.
Hare Krishna.
Good. Thank you
That
for
is
the
really Krishna's mercy. And all of your prayers, Mataji,
Hare
that helped me.
There you go. Thank you for the happy story. Okay, so now let us see.
Mataji, the 8th shloka, he who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O path, is sure to reach me. Mataji, when I was reading this, so this thought came to my mind. In Pune, when Prabhuji, he was sick and was admitted in the hospital. He underwent the surgery, and when he was given anesthesia, he was chanting before that, and anesthesia was given, and he said, "Please don't take away my bead bag. That should be with me." So he had requested beforehand, and the doctor also agreed to that. Mataji, amazing this thing that Prabhuji, where he left the chanting, when he came to consciousness, he started chanting that there itself. So, Mataji, I was just thinking here that if we remember every night before going to sleep, if we think of Krishna in the morning, also we are in that thought process only. So it is better to remember Krishna all the time, so that
Yes.
and death time may come anytime, you see. Maybe now, maybe after 5 minutes or 5 years, God knows. So we will
It's
remember.
all Krishna's mercy only, Mataji.
Yes.
The miracles he does, we cannot explain.
Hare
Nice. Okay, so let's take the verse. Thank you
Can I
so
just
much.
ask a quick question, please?
Sure, go ahead.
I know we covered this the last time, but Bhishma, I mean, if all that matters is devotion to Krishna, and then and to just that belief that you will go where you're meant to and he'll take care of it. Bhishma waited for Uttarayanam. Was that because he was fighting on the other side, the Kauravas? I know you said something, but I can't recall now.
Yeah, I was just saying that at that time, parts of the Bhagavad-gītā and parts of the Mahabharata are also demonstrating the prevalent way of doing things. For example, the gopis, who are actually so exalted and the best devotees of Krishna, they would go and pray to Katyayani. Like, why are you praying to Katyayani? She's Parvati, right? But they would do that because that was the way things were done at that time. Rukmini also like that. So similarly, at that time, it was supposed to be auspicious to not die at that time. So that's why he did that. Otherwise, and he's also demonstrating that he can stay on that arrow of bed for such a long time, right? So, but devotees, we don't have to learn from that. And that is what this verse is saying, right? Nyati siti parthajanan yogi muhyati kachana. Right? The bhaktas will not be bewildered. The yogi is not bewildered by that. So just take it as the face value of it, right? Because Mahabharata talks a lot about the current way of living, how a king should live, and things like that, right? The devotional part in Mahabharata is actually the Bhagavad-gītā that was spoken, right? Otherwise, all the other things are, okay, so Ambika wanted to take revenge and she comes back at Shikhandi and she kills and all that, right? It's not talking about devotional service like that. But in the middle of that Mahabharata is the precious stone, which is Bhagavad-gītā. And we take that out and we read it like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So here you go, continuing on. Yam yam vāpi smaran bhāvam tyajati ante kalevaram tam evaiti kaunteya sadā tad-bhāva-bhāvitaḥ. Yam, whatever. Vāpi, at all. Smaran, so remembering. Bhāvam, nature. Tyajati, gives up. Ante, at the end. Kalevaram, this body. Like it's all, kalevaram is such a sweet word, isn't it? Nice musical. Kalevaram, this body. Tam, similar. Eva, certainly. Eti, gets. Kaunteya, O son of Kuntī. Sadā, always. Tat, that. Bhava, state of being. Bhāvitaḥ, remembering. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kuntī, that state he will attain without fail. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The process of changing one's nature at the critical moment of death is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord, but it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. This is a point we should note very carefully. How can one die in a proper state of mind? Maharaj Bharat, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life, and so in his next life he was transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that animal body. Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendently absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. So, what do you say?
Wonderful. So just chant the name and keep remembering Krishna all the time.
All right.
And automatically we'll go back.
Class dismissed. Let's go and chant some more.
Only at the end we cannot practice, ma'am. All the time we need to practice that chanting Hare
Correct.
Krishna.
Correct.
And if we hurt or if we drop something, oh Krishna, Hare Krishna, like that, we make it a habit, then that will be there forever.
True.
But not that once we practice, just like that at the end of our life, we cannot do that. End of the life, if we want to say Hare Krishna, I want to say Hare Krishna at my end of my life. No, I might see an ant, I might see something. If not deer, I can see something else, bird or something. And I will become like that.
So when you see a bird, what should be your habit now?
Pardon?
When you see a bird, what should be your habit now to do?
Right now I will see the bird and with color, how it eats and how it flies and how we say.
Yeah. What is missing about thinking when you see a bird?
Not now.
Chapter 7. Chapter 7. Now I'm saying that now, all of you now, if you see a bird, what should you think?
Chapter 7, I don't remember.
When you see a beautiful bird, what should you think?
Right. Krishna's beautiful creations.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that is Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
Connect back everything to Krishna. So at the time of death, you will say, at the time of death, if you see a vulture, then you'll also say, okay, this is Krishna's creation.
Yeah.
Right? So that
is true. That's true.
He says, chapter 7, Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Even when you're drinking water, you can think about Krishna.
Yes.
Because
and the taste of water.
Yeah, how can you define the taste of water?
That I always think, Mataji. A bird, a tree.
I didn't say you don't think.
No, what I'm saying is, I forgot to tell you right now, but a tree, if I see a tree also, and if it says in the snow, if it says in the rain, if it just waves, for wind, all those things. So what a Krishna's creation. And then if I have beautiful flower, if they change its colors, all those things are Krishna's creation.
Right. So one of the things so basically he's saying is that it's a preparation. This life is a preparation and death is the final exam.
Yeah.
Right? And depending on, death is an exam. Death is not that you failed. We have to remember this. Death is not a failure that, whatever you had to do, whatever your desires are, they are unfulfilled. Your desires will be fulfilled. And you will get a suitable body to fulfill your desires. Right? This is what happens when For example, if we like to eat meat, we have to either order it through Amazon fresh to come to our home, or we have to go to a shop to purchase it, earn the money to buy it, purchase it, come back home, wash it, cook it, eat it. And if somebody likes doing a lot and is just, mad after eating flesh, then Krishna will say, you know what, I'm going to make it easy for you next life, because Krishna grants all your wishes. I'm going to make it easy for life. No shopping, chopping. I'll make you a lion. You just eat it straight.
Keep eating.
This is what happens, right? Like that. So our life is, the death is actually just, the final exam. Based on that exam, you will go either this way or you'll go that way. And so that is why when we are here, we are constantly, we are trying to give Krishna consciousness to people. And we have heard, and we read, here also we read, that Bharat Maharaj, although he was the son of nobody else, none other than Rishabh-dev, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's his son, and through his life, he is demonstrating. And at what stage of devotional service was he? Not Adav Shraddha, not Sadhu Sangha, not Bhajana Kriya. He was at the stage of Bhava, very high stage, just before Prem. Right? At that stage, his life is to demonstrate that even at that stage, you can go down if you have got attachments somewhere hidden in your psyche. Right? And so talking about a deer, did you all see the little video that I had sent?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get.
No, I didn't get Mataji. Video about a deer? No.
It was on Bhakti-Vrik San Mateo.
I didn't get Mataji.
When? Can you resend, Mataji?
Please.
Okay, nobody from this team got it?
No, none of us.
We got that very nice description of the cow or the
cow. We got.
Which cow?
No, I
not
didn't.
cow, but it was a bull.
What was
Maybe.
it?
Looked like a cow. It said.
What was it?
Is that how
They gave
the animal goes into ISKCON temple and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
and then
I
he
got.
does it.
Yeah. So what was that animal?
Wounded animal.
Yeah. What was it? What was that animal? Nilgai, right? But
Nilgai.
Nilgai,
Yeah,
Nilgai is not a
Nilgai.
guy. Nilgai is not a guy. It is a deer. It belongs to the deer family.
Okay.
But here in the thing, it was not written deer.
It's cow only.
It is written.
Yeah, no, it's a so.
Because
It
it's
says,
called
yeah, it's a
Nilgai.
Nilgai, right? It says it's a Nilgai. It said Nilgai.
Okay.
You look at it, yeah. And you look at it, it's a Nilgai, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
It
what,
says-
which
I'm
one
going to be back.
Mataji said
normal
it?
cow,
I'm
but
going to look like right?
Nilgai.
Mataji, in which he sent it? Which one?
Yes, on San Mateo Bhakti Vrik. I'm just going to read it from there for all of you. On June 18, an extraordinary incident took place at ISKCON Amravati Temple. At about 10 a.m., a horse-like animal came running into the property.
Yeah.
With
Oh,
fear
I
as
read
it
this
was
I got it.
temple. No speaking in between. It turned out to be a cow, though not a normal cow, but one known colloquially as a Nilgai, a large Indian antelope, right? Antelope is the same deer.
Antelope, yeah.
It's a deer family, right? Antelope have bigger horns. Found only in jungles. Those who saw her said she had also been seen briefly at the Hanuman temple close by before coming to our ISKCON temple. She could have gone into any house or hit someone in panic, as blood was oozing from several of her injuries, firstly having been struck by a vehicle on the road. Upon entering our temple, however, she was calm and quiet, as though now having reached the goal to further her journey. She looked at lordships of Shri Shri Rukmani Dwarkadhish and then went for the darshan of Srila Prabhupada. Now, people often need guidance to take darshan in the temple, but this divine soul behaved like she knew everything, maybe due to past life memories. She then moved out of the temple without harming anyone, departed
The campus.
The campus.
departed the campus through the gate and left her body, seemingly not wanting to contaminate the Lord's courtyard. Everyone was amazed by her behavior. All the assembled devotees said she must have been a devotee in her past life and had come running to the Lord at the time of her death. Somebody has taken Prabhupada's words very seriously. They're chanting. Nice. They offered her a maha garland, performed his sankirtan and circumambulated her, then sent her for the final rites. She had arrived as if guided by the supreme power. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevara prayati samad-bhāvaṁ yati nasyate samshaya. And whoever at the time of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Bhagavad-gītā 8.5. To have darshan of the Lord while departing is the perfection of life. It seems this Nilgai had memory of her last life, and she most definitely had achieved the highest destination. The whole episode recalls Jad Bharat Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This instance was very inspiring, reminding everyone how they should live in this material world, always remembering the Lord.
Yeah, I got
if Krishna
that.
could take care of a devotee who was in an animal body and give the remember Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Matta Smritir, right? So Smriti, it gives a Smriti that this is the road to Hanuman temple, this is the road to the ISKCON temple when you are filled with bruises, right? So if Krishna is going to give that, then have faith that Krishna will give that to us also, right? There's a story. And I was just thinking of the coincidence that we had just done 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And then we get this story 2 days later like that. So Krishna is very merciful.
That is Krishna's arrangement too.
All that we have to do is to constantly just, chant the names of the Lord. And this devotee must have chanted the names of the Lord in the previous birth. Right? And Krishna gave everything here.
And due to some karmas, she must have gone into that body.
Yeah. And Nilgai is a beautiful body. Must have wanted to run fast, must have wanted to look beautiful, must have thought about a Nilgai at the end of life. Who knows what that person was doing. So, and that is why holy names of the Lord are so very powerful. So I remember there was one of our teachers was giving us this story that this was Amsterdam. It was Amsterdam, and there was a couple there. And they had given a name, the name of the dog was Krishnamurti. Now, those of you who are into Indian politics know that he was a prominent figure in Indian politics. So the dog was called Krishnamurti, a small poodle. And once the poodle ran away. Now, poodles are beautiful, but they don't have much of intelligence as compared to, say, a German Shepherd or Alsatian, as they're called in India. So the dog ran out. Now the wife was very upset and said, okay, told the husband that it was in the night, said, okay, now you go and find the dog, where they are, where the dog is. And so this poor man, and so they used to, his name was Krishnamurti, but they used to call him Krishna as short, as we shorten every name. So this man was out in the streets and tried to find the dog could not. Now he's starting feeling bad. And he's saying, Krishna, where are you? Kahan ho Krishna, kahan ho Krishna. He's saying, Krishna, where are you? Krishna, where are you? And as luck would have it, who else was there on the road? ISKCON devotees. And the ISKCON devotees were looking, when they heard this, were like, oh my goodness, this man, look at the intensity with which he's calling out for Krishna. It really was. Krishna is so desperate. Is it like searching, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And so they said, okay, oh, you're looking for Krishna? We have Krishna. We can take you to where Krishna is. So this man is very happy. Oh, you have my Krishna? Look at this man. He even says Krishna is mine, like my Krishna. So it's okay. To the temple. And then they said, okay, now Krishna is sleeping. So he said, okay, now they must have given some food to the dog, and the dog is sleeping. So he said, no, don't disturb. Don't disturb him. He's sleeping. So then they give him some food also. He says, okay, you stay the night here. And then, because we are going to meet at 4 a.m. So at 4 a.m., the curtains open. And this man is there. And he says, yeah, here is your Krishna. He said, oh, this is not my Krishna. I was looking for my dog, it was Krishna. So anyway, they said, okay, anyway, Prabhu, since you have come all this way, why don't you wait? And, we'll have some session here. Then, you can also stay back. We'll decorate him beautifully. You see all this and all that. So he got prasadam, 7:30, darshan and all that. And then he said, okay, now I have to go back and search for my Krishna. So he goes out. But as soon as he goes out of the temple, he sees that a dog is sitting in the temple courtyard. So he says, oh, I found my Krishna. And then he takes Krishna home. And so before he goes home, the devotees say that, okay, we were not able to give your Krishna to you, that one that you were looking, but I can give you a gift. So they give him a Bhagavad-gita. What else? They do. So they give him a Bhagavad-gita. And so this man goes home with the dog and the Bhagavad-gita. And then the wife says that, this is what happened to me. And so the wife says, okay, fine. You give me the dog, you keep the Bhagavad-gita. So the wife keeps the dog and the man keeps the Bhagavad-gita. He starts reading it. And then when he started reading it, then he started coming to the temple. And later on, he became a full-fledged devotee. So such is the power of the holy name of the Lord, that even if somebody took it, sanketyam, he was indicating somebody else. Indirectly, he took the name. He was indicating the dog. But the words Krishna came, and they are so powerful that the man, finally, Krishna took mercy on him and finally gave him, his mercy, and he became a devotee. So that is why when we are there, out on the streets, and we find that somebody is very poor, okay? So when somebody is very poor in one's life, becomes a beggar, and is begging from street to street, what should we give them, okay? If you give them money, most of the beggars will go and buy a drink. They'll go buy some drink and they'll drink it. So now you have become instrument of that drinking spree. So you will get the karmic reaction of that. So you have to be very, very careful of what you're giving, right? So even if you have to give them something, even if you have to give them prasadam, and give them the holy name. Don't give them the prasadam till you ask them, okay, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra once for me. And they will do it. So that's why you so much see when we go out on book distribution, we do not just give them like that, anything for free. We first have them like, okay, you chant. You chant. So this is a amazing thing that Sankirtan movement of Srila Prabhupada does. And what happens out of this? What is the end results of all of that, right? So there's a very, very interesting story that there was a man and he had a son, only child, only son. So he took great pains to bring him up, education, everything, lot of sacrifices the father did. He becomes a software engineer and then comes to USA. And there he gets a nice job. He finds a nice girl. He gets married to the girl, has a child, and then he stays on in USA. His parents, however, back home, they're getting older and money is not sufficient for them. So they are feeling very morose. And so one day he turns to his friend. The two of them had brought the children together. And the father says to his friend that, you know what? My child has forgotten me completely. Gone there, settled in USA, doesn't think of me. But your children are doing very good. You have 4 children, they take such nice care of you. And so why don't you, and both of us brought our children together. So my son was their friend. So can you please tell your children, to do something about it? So then the friend went and told the situation to his 4 children. So they were very upset with all that. So they immediately came, And so the first one said that, oh, uncle, so sorry to hear that you're going to go through all this. So what you can do is you buy all your groceries. Don't even think about it. Whatever your needs you buy, I will pay the bill for all the monthly grocery bill. The second one says that, okay, I will take care of all your amenities, electricity bill, water bill. Third one says that I will take care, of any, your transportation needs. You have to go here, to go there. You have to buy clothes, etc. I'll take care of all of that, right? The 3 of them are very nice. This friend is feeling very, very, grateful and gad, Then the fourth one doesn't do anything. He gets on a flight to USA, talks to this son, and says, "What are you doing? Your father is there. Go back." So then this son realizes, he packs his bags and comes to meet his father in India. So then when the son comes back, of course, the father is very happy. So out of the four children, which one do you think was the most dear to this man?
The
The
one
fourth
who
one.
told his
Fourth
son
one.
to motivate him to go back and meet his father.
Fourth one.
His father, exactly, right? So that is why to the father, most dear was the one who brought the son who
Son
was
from-
absconding, right? The prodigal, as they say, and who brings him back. So that is why when you distribute the Hare Krishna Mahamantra on the roads, when you engage in distributing Bhagavad-gītā to people, you are bringing people back to their original father. And that's why the original father says in the 18th chapter that nobody is more dear to me than the one who distributes this knowledge to others, right?
That's fantastic, Mataji.
Yeah.
Very nice story, Mataji.
Very nice story.
So focusing on all this. The thing that we take away from the verse is, okay, yam yam vāpi smaran bhāvam. Oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? No. Don't worry about that. Worry about the quality of your life. What exactly are you doing in your life? How are you shaping your life so that you become a favorite of Krishna? Now, we are on the top of the hour. Do you have 10 minutes to spare? Because I wanted you to read together a story
Yes.
on how Dhruv Maharaj goes back to Godhead. But I need a yes from everybody.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji.
Yes. Okay. So let me
Yes.
start sharing. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto. And I think the chapter is 12. Yeah, Dhruv Maharaj goes back to Godhead. Now, each one of you can continue with the same reading order that I had. Any new people joined? After Vindhyavali? Do we have anybody?
I don't think so.
I think me and Subodhini Mataji joined. I don't know.
Yes. So we will put that,
But,
right?
oh yeah, she was not there in the list.
Okay. So then Sukomal and Sukomal Radhe. I'm putting this on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Sukomal
Oh.
Radhe. Yeah. So we are reading order, and then I'm going to ask Subodhini. Can you read? Oh no, she said she has to be quiet today. Yeah. Okay. So the reading order is Varshana, Kiran Goyal, Jyoti Mataji, Aruni Mataji, Yugal Mataji, Vindhyavali Mataji, and Sukomal Radhe Mataji. And each one of you is going to read 2 verses. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we will get started.
Mataji, Kiran Goyal Mataji was not there. This is Kiran Khosla.
Khosla. Sorry. Did I write Goyal there? Sorry, my bad. Yeah, Kiran Khosla. Yeah, of course, I talked to her. Sorry, my bad. Kiran Khosla Mataji, sorry.
So I am Yugas after Yuga. I am. Is that right?
Yeah, you're after Yugal Mataji.
Right. So Dhruv Maharaj, we know the story of Dhruv Maharaj, right? All that story we know. Now, text number 1 and 2.
Yes, Mataji. May I start?
Yes, please.
The great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidur, Dhruv Maharaj's anger subsided and he completely ceased killing yakshas when Kuvera, the most
Kuvera.
When Kuvera, the most blessed master of the treasury, learned this news, he appeared before Dhruva. While being worshipped by yakshas, kinnaras, and charanas, he spoke to Dhruv Maharaj, who stood before him with folded hands. The master of the treasury, Kuvera, said, "O sinless son of Kshatriya, I am very glad to know that under the instruction of your grandfather, you have given up your enmity. Although it is very difficult to avoid, I am very pleased with you." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna ji. Actually, you have not killed the yakshas, nor have you killed your brother. For the ultimate cause of generation and Annihilation is the eternal time feature of the Supreme Lord. Misidentification of oneself and others as I and you on the basis of the bodily concept of life is a product of ignorance. This bodily concept is the cause of repeated birth and death, and it makes us go on continuously in material existence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna ji. My dear Dhruv, come forward. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond our sensory perception, is the super soul of all living entity, and thus all entities are one, without distinction. Therefore, begin rendering service unto the transcendental form of the Lord, who is the ultimate shelter of all living entities. Engage yourself fully, therefore, in devotional service of the Lord, for only He can deliver us from the entanglement of materialistic existence. Although the Lord is attached to His material potency, He is aloof from His activity. He is aloof from her activities. Everything in this material world is happening by the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna ji.
My dear Dhruva Maharaja, son of Maharaja Uttanapada, we have heard that you are constantly engaged in transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known for his lotus navel. You are therefore worthy to take all benedictions from us. Please therefore ask without hesitation whatever benediction you want from me. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, when thus asked to accept a benediction from Kuvera, the Yaksha Raja king of the Yakshas, Dhruva Maharaja, that most elevated pure devotee who was an intelligent and thoughtful king, begged that he might have unflinching faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For thus a person can cross over the ocean of nescience very easily, although it is very difficult for others to cross.
Who's after Aruni?
Yuga.
Yuga?
Okay, Mataji. Text number 9. The son of Idavida, Lord Kuvera, was very pleased and happily they gave Dhruv Maharaj the benediction he wanted. Thereafter he disappeared from Dhruva's presence, and Dhruva Maharaj returned to his capital city. As long he remained at home, Dhruv Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifice in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifice, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifice are specially meant to please Lord Vishnu, who is the objective of all such sacrifices and who award the resultant benedictions.
Question, who is the father of Lord Kuvera?
No, father of Kuvera. Oh, okay.
Idavida.
Idavida.
Son of Idavida.
Son of Idavida is Lord Kuvera.
Right. Okay, who's coming next to do 11?
Me.
Okay,
Me. Dhruva Maharaj rendered devotional service unto the Supreme, the reservoir of everything, with unrelenting force. While carrying out his devotional service to the Lord, he could see that everything is situated in him only, and that he situated in all living entities. The Lord is called Achyuta because he never fails in his prime duty to give protection to his devotees. Dhruva Maharaj was endowed with all godly qualities. He was very respectable to the devotees of the Supreme Lord and very kind to the poor and innocent, and he protected religious principles. With all these qualities, he was considered to be the direct father of all citizens. Hare Krishna.
Dhruv Maharaj ruled over this planet for 36,000 years. He diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and by practicing austerities, he diminished inauspicious reactions. The self-controlled great soul Dhruva Maharaj thus passed many, many years favorably executing three kinds of worldly activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and satisfaction of all material desires. Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son.
Who's next?
Varshana Mataji.
No, Yugal Mataji is not reading.
No, you all already read, but
Everybody is
Subodhini
over.
Subodhini cannot read.
Mataji.
Subodhini cannot read, so you go there. Yeah.
Okay, and Srila Dhruva Maharaj. And Srila Dhruva Maharaj realized that this cosmic manifestation wilders living entities like a dream or a phantasmagoria because it is a creation of illusionary external energy of the Supreme Lord. Text 16. Thus, Dhruva Maharaj at the end left his kingdom, which extended all over the earth and was bounded by the great oceans. He considered his body, his wives, his children, his friends, his army, his rich treasury, his very comfortable places, and his many enjoyable pleasure grounds to be creations of the illusionary energy. Thus, in due course of time, he retired to the forest in the Himalayas, known as Badrika Ashram.
In Badrika Ashram, Dhruva Maharaj's senses became completely purified because he bathed regularly in the crystal clear purified water. He fixed his sitting position and by yogic practice controlled the breathing process and the air of the life. In this way, his senses were completely withdrawn. Then he concentrated his mind on the Archa
Vigraha.
Archa Vigraha from the form of the Lord, which is the exact replica of Lord, and thus meditating upon him, entered into complete trance. Because of his transcendental bliss, instant tears followed from his eyes, his heart melted, and there was shivering and standing of the hairs all over his body. Thus transformed in a trance of devotional service, Dhruva Maharaj completely forgot his bodily existence and thus he immediately became liberated from material bondage. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna ji. As soon as symptoms of his liberation were manifest, he saw a very beautiful airplane coming down from the sky as if the brilliant full moon were coming down, illuminating all the 10 directions. Dhruva Maharaj saw two beautiful associates of Lord Vishnu in the plane. They had 4 hands and a blackish bodily luster. They were very youthful and their eyes were just like reddish lotus flower. They held clubs in their hands and they were dressed in a very attractive garments with helmets and were decorated with necklace, bracelets and earrings. Hare Krishna ji.
Dhruva Maharaja, seeing that these uncommon personalities were direct servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately stood up. But being puzzled, in hastiness he forgot how to receive them in the proper way. Therefore he simply offered his obeisances with folded hands and chanted and glorified the holy names of the Lord. Dhruva Maharaja was always absorbed in thinking of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. His heart was full with Krishna. When the 2 confidential servants of the Supreme Lord, who were named Nanda and Sunanda, approached him smiling happily, Dhruva stood with folded hands, bowing humbly. They then addressed him as follows.
Who comes after?
Yugayam.
Okay,
Yuga.
okay. Text 23. Nanda and Sunanda, the 2 confidential associates of the Lord Vishnu, said, Dear King, let there be all good fortune unto you. Please attentively hear. What we shall say, when you were only 5 years old, you underwent severe austerities, and you thereby greatly satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the creators of the whole universe, who carries in his hand and bow named Shringa. We have been specifically deputed to take you to the spiritual world.
To achieve Vishnuloka is very difficult, but by your austerity you have conquered. Even the great rishis and demigods cannot achieve this position. Simply to see the supreme abode, the Vishnu planet, the sun and moon, and all the other planets, stars, lunar mansions, and solar systems are circumambulating it. Now, please come. You are welcome to go there. Dear King Dhruva, neither your forefathers nor anyone else before you ever achieved such a transcendental planet. The planet known as Vishnuloka, where Lord Vishnu personally resides, is the highest of all. It is worshipable by the inhabitants of all other planets within the universe. Please come with us and live there eternally. Hare Krishna.
O immortal one, this unique airplane has been sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is worshipped by selected prayers and who is the chief of all living entities. You are quite worthy to board such a plane. The great sage Maitreya continued, Maharaj Dhruva was very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he heard the sweet speeches of the Lord's chief associates in the Vaikuntha planet, he immediately took his sacred bath, dressed himself with suitable ornaments, and performed his daily spiritual duties. Thereafter, he offered his respectful obeisances to the great sages present there and accepted their blessings.
Before getting aboard, Dhruv Maharaj worshipped the airplane, circumambulated it, and also offered obeisances to the associates of Vishnu. In the meantime, he became as brilliant and illuminating as molten gold. He was thus completely prepared to board the transcendental plane. When Dhruva Maharaja was attempting to get on the transcendental plane, he saw death personified approach him. Not caring for death, however, he took advantage of the opportunity to put his feet on the head of death. And thus he got up on the airplane, which was as big as a house. Hare Krishna.
At the time, drums and kettle drums resounded from the sky. The chief Gandharvas began to sing, and other demigods showered flowers like torrents of rain upon Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruv was seated in the transcendental aeroplane, which was just about to start. When he remembered his poor mother, Suniti, he thought of him to himself, how shall I go alone to the Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my poor mother? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ji, the great associate of Vaikuntha Loka, Nand and Sunanda, could understand the mind of Dhruv Maharaj, and thus they showed him that his mother Suniti was going forward in another plane. While Dhruv Maharaj was passing through the space, he gradually saw all the planets of the solar system, and on the path he saw the demigods in their airplanes showering flowers upon him like rain. Hare Krishna Ji.
Dhruva Maharaja thus surpassed the 7 planetary systems of the great sages, who are known as Saptarishi. Beyond that region, he has achieved the transcendental situation of permanent life in the planet where Lord Vishnu lives. The self-effulgent Vaikuntha planets, by whose illumination alone all the illuminating planets within this material world give off reflected light, cannot be reached by those who are not merciful to other living entities. Only persons who constantly engage in welfare activities for other living entities can reach the Vaikuntha planets.
Yugadi?
Text 37.
Mm-hmm.
Persons who are peaceful, equipoise, cleanse and purify, and who know the art of pleasing all other living entities, keep friendship only with devotees of the Lord. They alone can very easily achieve the perfection of going back home, back to Godhead. In this way, the fully Krishna consciousness Dhruva Maharaj, he exalted son of Maharaj, Uttanapad, attained the summit to the three states of planetary systems.
Saint Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, descendant of Kuru, as a herd of bulls circumambulates a central pole on their right side, all the luminaries within the universal sky unceasingly circumambulating the abode of Dhruva Maharaj with great force and speed. After observing the glories of Dhruva Maharaj, the great sage Narada, playing his veena, went to the sacrificial arena of the presetas, and very happily chanted the following three verses. Hare Krishna.
The great sage Narada said, simply by the influence of his spiritual advancement and powerful austerity, Dhruv Maharaj, the son of Suniti, who was devoted to her husband, acquired an exalted position not possible to attain even for the so-called Vedantists or strict followers of the Vedic principles, not to speak of ordinary human beings. The great sage Narada continued, just see how Dhruv Maharaj, aggrieved at the harsh words of his stepmother, went to the forest at the age of only 5 years and under my direction underwent austerity. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unconquerable, Dhruv Maharaj defeated him with the specific qualifications possessed only by the Lord's devotees.
Dhruv Maharaj attained an exalted position at the age of only 5 or 6 years, after undergoing austerity for 6 months. Alas, a great Kshatriya cannot achieve such a position even after undergoing austerities for many, many years. Text 44. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, whatever you have asked from me about the great reputation and character of Dhruva Maharaj, I have explained to you in all detail. Great saintly persons and devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj. By hearing the narration of Dhruva Maharaj, one can fulfill desires for wealth, reputation, and increased duration of life. It is so auspicious that one can even go to a heavenly planet or attain Dhruva Loka, which was achieved by Dhruva Maharaj just by hearing about him. The demigods also become pleased because this narration is so glorious and it is so powerful that it can counteract all the results of one's sinful actions. Hare Krishna.
Anyone who hears the narration of Dhruv Maharaj and who repeatedly tries with faith and devotion to understand his pure character attains the pure devotional platform and executes pure devotional service. By such activities, one can diminish the threefold misery conditions of material life. Anyone who hears his narration of Dhruva Maharaj acquires exalted qualities from like him. For anyone who desires greatness, prowess, or influence, here is the process by which the by which to acquire them, and for thoughtful men who want adoration, here is the proper means. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna ji.
Uh,
The
My
great
turn?
sages,
Aruni Mataji is not there, no?
No,
The
no, but
great-
it's Jyoti Mataji's turn.
Okay.
the great sage Maitreya recommended one should chant of the character and activities of Dhruv Maharaj both in the morning and in the evening with great attention and care in a society of Brahmins or other twice born persons. Person who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of Lord should recite this narration of Dhruv Maharaj without taking remuneration. Specifically,
Remuneration.
recitation is recommended on the full moon or the dark moon day, on the day after Ekadashi, on the appearance of Shravan star at the end of particular tithi, or the occasion of Vyati Pata at the end of month or on the Sunday. Such recitation should, of course, be performed before a favorable audience. When recitation is performed this way without personal motive, the reciter and the audience become perfect. Hare Krishna ji.
Can I read?
Yeah. You got it.
Okay. The narration of Dhruv Maharaj is sublime knowledge for the attainment of immortality. Persons unaware of the absolute truth can be led to the path of truth. Those who, out of transcendental kindness, take on the responsibilities of becoming master, protector of the poor living entities, automatically gain the interest and blessings of the demigods. The transcendental activities of Dhruv Maharaj are well known all over the world, and they are very pure. In childhood, Dhruva Maharaj rejected all kinds of toys and playthings, left the protection of his mother, and seriously took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. My dear Vidura, I therefore conclude this narration, for I have described to you all its details.
Hari Om. That's it. Okay, thank you. I just wanted you to experience the nice way in which Dhruv Maharaj left
Mm,
for his
Yeah.
heavenly Lord.
Very nice.
mm.
Hare Krishna.
So Krishna takes care, okay?
Mm.
just improve the quality of your life. Don't think about death, how it's going to happen, how it's not going to happen, but be sure that it's going to happen.
Mm.
Okay.
Another thing I today I felt, you see, his stepmother, you see, it was good that he felt bad at that moment, but it was good for him in the sense that he went for searching the truth. When he went to his mother and she guided him that I cannot do anything, and you go and find the Lord. He can only solve your problem. Sometimes the troubles come, and those troubles actually motivate you, and you find the right path, Mataji.
Yeah, not sometimes, always.
Always,
The
okay.
troubles are always meant for that. Yeah, that's why Krishna puts troubles there. Otherwise, we will be somewhere. Nalkuver Mani Grieve, enjoying life. But they were cursed. Yeah.
One way that is blessing.
Yeah, one way it is blessing.
Yeah,
Another
but
thing I
always
noticed,
blessing.
Mataji, when he was getting onto the plane, and that time he is asking about his stepmother, where she is, and
Hey,
then
not the stepmother, this is his real mother.
okay,
This
his real mother.
her stepmother, and before I wrap up this call, his stepmother died a very bad death. Actually, before this, in the previous chapters, we'll hear that her son, Uttama, right? He gets killed by a yaksha in a fight with a yaksha. He gets killed, and so
Yes.
she goes in a forest, and so she goes mad, and she also enters the forest, and there she's killed in a forest fire. And then our acharyas comment on that, and they say that why did Dhruv Maharaj's stepmother have to die such a bad death? And the answer is Vaishnav Aprad.
Mm.
Right? Vaishnav Aprad. And then the question is, but Dhruva was not a Vaishnava. At the age of 5 years, he was a Kshatriya, full-fledged Kshatriya, right?
Yeah.
So the answer they give is that even if somebody is going to become a Vaishnava in the future, you should not be doing aparad against that. So the bottom line is, don't do aparad to anybody because you don't know when they're going to become a Vaishnava.
Yes.
And
One
actually,
motivating factor. Yeah.
Actually, Mataji, the treatment of the stepmother to Dhruva actually led him to become all this. So
Yes.
Yeah,
in
he
a
was
way,
the-
like he should thank her.
Yeah, anything, it happens, bad happens, and it's a blessing.
Yeah. And he actually didn't have nurture any malice towards her. Actually, when Dhruva Maharaj returns home after going to the forest, and then the king comes to meet, and with both the wives, he comes to meet with Suruchi and Suniti, meet Dhruv, and Dhruv is equally respectful to both of them. He doesn't say that, look here, mom, stepmom, I have become now exalted. I've seen
No,
God.
no.
He doesn't
Yeah.
do any of that, right? He treats them the same. So
He wouldn't, but the whole thing started with the stepmother treating him that way that led him to be so enlightened.
the original cause, yeah. So nice, because we have been talking about death and talking about becoming a deer at the time of death and whatnot. I just thought that we should also discuss some happy deaths.
Yeah, it's so nice.
too.
So nice.
And this is what our literature is about. I mean, if you look here in this country and look at the people around you, they don't want to discuss death. They're very comfortable,
That's true.
right? But our shastras are always talking about death only.
Some people don't want to touch Bhagavad-gita.
Yeah.
They are scared probably that...
That's a good faith in Bhagavad-gita that it's going to transform you.
that will transform them.
So on that happy note of Dhruva Maharaj going back home to the Dhruv planet, I'll take your leave. Thank you so much for adjusting your schedule to into mine. And we will meet again on Sunday morning with the
So
Bhagavad-gita.
every Wednesday we're meeting, Mataji?
No, only today.
Oh, only this Wednesday.
Not every Wednesday, Mataji.
Thanks to Krishna, thanks to everybody, thanks to Shraddha Mataji. I suddenly came into this class and I enjoyed.
Nice.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Pranam.
Kalpataru
Sindhu Vaivachā Patini Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo